You never know what a collaboration could lead to. They may know, Oprah, as Mimi always says, they may know Oprah. It may be like your quick big break because the person you're working with knows Oprah or Jimmy Fallon or whoever you want to collaborate with.
Or the collaboration can go, Jonathan's favorite word, viral, right? And it can just lead into a whole bunch of different opportunities afterwards. That's why you just never know. I always say that with social audio, there's a time and place to have fun and, be silly. But if you're going to show up there to grow your business, just like with Instagram or wherever you choose, like show up professionally.
It's Coffee Social, the podcast all about social media and business. And now, here are your hosts, Jonathan Howard and Mimi Langley.
Hey, everyone. Oh, there you are, Jonathan Howard.
Here I am. My pen is back.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. I love when you just magically appear.
It's magic. It's the magic of short form video.
There we go. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Coffee Social Podcast. That was weird. That was different.
That was different. And you haven't said hi, Jonathan.
Hi, Jonathan Howard, because you just poofed out of nowhere. You threw me off. Okay. Hi, Jonathan Howard.
Hello, Mimi Langley.
Hi, everyone. Cheers, everybody. Coffee cheers. I'm so stinking excited for this episode. And I know you are too, because we're going to be talking about collaborations. We have both collaborated with many, many people throughout the years of business. And a lot of these points, if you're thinking about collaborating with somebody or maybe you're in the trenches with them,
Mimi,
definitely.
Mimi, you forgot about your mom.
Oh, I know. I was going to jump into that.
Oh, okay.
You're like, what about Mimi's mom? What do you want to say, Jonathan?
Okay.
So
nothing.
Anywho, that's the episode today. I'm really, really excited about that. But before we jump into the good stuff, we have to start it off with my mother. Shout out to you, Mom. I know you're my biggest fan. I know you're listening right now.
No,
she's
not.
Like, what are you doing? She is. Okay, well,
nope.
Let's talk about this. So
She's
other day,
my biggest fan.
Jonathan, true story. True story. She's Jonathan's biggest fan. And she pretty much admitted it without actually saying the words, I'm Jonathan's biggest fan. I pretty much caught on to her activities. And I was like, okay, are you Jonathan's biggest fan? Do I need to get you a Team Jonathan t-shirt? So here we are. I think my mom is going to be rocking that.
Yep. She is going to lead to my fan club. She started following me on Instagram. She started commenting on my stories. Yep.
I love that for you.
So, by the way, the Team Jonathan t-shirts have been approved by budget. I'm just saying.
Not the truck company. No, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously though, we really do have to get those t-shirts out there. And I just want to shout out my mom because she's such a support for this podcast. So thanks, Mom.
Absolutely.
Okay, Jonathan. First of all, what are you drinking in your cup? Because I haven't asked you that in quite a while. Is it something different for the people?
No, it is my Khalifa cold brew with coconut milk. So it's at like 50-50, half and half café con leche, as we know. So
Café con leche. Mine is a dark roast. I think it's organic because we fully switched over to organic coffee as much as possible. And it's Seattle's best. So shout out to Seattle. Remember, don't gulp into your microphone. That's what we've learned. Okay, episode 11, if you want to learn about starting a podcast. Okay. Yeah. Do you want to quickly introduce yourself just in case it's someone's first time here at Coffee Social?
Yes, I shall. So if it's your first time here at Coffee Social, my name is Jonathan Howard, and I'm the funny one. Back to you, Mimi.
Oh my gosh. I should do your intro for you one of these days because I've memorized it. Yeah.
All right.
But tell people, really, Jonathan, you're a help here, so.
Okay. So my name is Jonathan Howard. I'm the owner of Success on Social, and I help successful female coaches reach their ideal clients, share their story, and change the world. And that's what I do. Short form videos are my favorite.
I love
Building
that.
your signature style, all those things. Back to you, Mimi.
I love
I'm
it.
the funny one.
Well, hey, everyone. I'm Mimi Langley. I teach women in business how to host rooms, how to moderate on social audio. That includes LinkedIn audio and Clubhouse. It really is a great way to gain visibility, make sales, and grow your email list. So audio marketing is the way, you guys. And that's what I teach and preach about. Let's jump into this conversation about collaboration. And when we're coming from the eyes of collaboration, we are focusing mainly on collaborating on social media,
Yep.
but a lot of what we share, I mean, you could probably apply it elsewhere as well in business. So Jonathan, the first one I have on this list, because we have quite a list and we want to try to make these episodes digestible. The first one I have on the list is, well, first of all, what is the goal? So like if someone approaches you to collaborate, you don't always have to say yes, although sometimes we feel pressured and we never like to say no sometimes because we don't want to hurt someone's feelings. But you have to think about yourself, right? Like, okay, if I do collaborate with this person, like, what is going to be my return on my time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all collaborations should be mutually beneficial, period. You should get something out of it and they should get something out of it. And if you're not getting anything out of it, then the answer should be no. I'm sorry, I can't do that right now. No, I'm sorry, it just doesn't fit into my schedule right now. Something along those lines. No, it doesn't help me meet my goals that I have this quarter. That's fine. Or just no is a complete sentence. So
I know. And why is it so scary to say no? I feel like we need to get a no expert on an episode one day.
We will, I think, because that will help people, I think, tremendously. But, it's because we want to please everybody and we can't do that.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it's hard to say it, but really at the end of the day, they can take up a lot of time when you're collaborating. And so you really do have to make sure that it's going to work out for you and your needs as well. So, is there anything else that you wanted to say about that before we move on to the second point?
If it's not getting you something, and if it's not getting all the parties involved something, then maybe it's not really the right thing for you, and find another opportunity. There's always going to be opportunities.
Yeah, I love that because I think sometimes we scare ourselves into thinking, is this like, if I say no, like, am I missing out like on something really big? And maybe, but always know that there's always something big coming along as well. Like, the other thing too is when you're thinking about collaborating, it doesn't have to be like a long-term gig. You know what I mean? Like, so let's say you are kind of, not 100% there, but you're like, okay, well, maybe this could be something good. It doesn't have to be a long-term commitment, right? You can do those quickie collaborations.
Yeah, and they can be one-offs. And honestly, agreeing to do a reel and a carousel, and that's your collaboration with somebody on Instagram, is perfectly fine. And then you measure the results and see if it's worth doing another one.
I love that so much because, collaborations, they can form, and so going live on Instagram with somebody could be a collaboration. Doing what you said and doing a reel together can be in collaboration. I'm thinking from the world of social audio, people collaborate all the time. They host rooms together all the time on a specific topic. So collaborations can look completely different. There are some people too that will take over someone's Instagram stories. Right, Jonathan? That's a collaboration.
Yep. That's a collaboration. There's a lot of opportunities to do different stuff like that. And the reminder is that, Mimi, I know, says this in all of her teachings, and I learned this as well on social audio. You don't commit to doing a room with somebody for the next 12 months.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's like getting into a bad relationship.
Although it's happened, because again, sometimes, especially when you're brand new at it, you're excited. You're like, wow, like this is going to be great, right? You go into it thinking like, this is going to be the best gig ever, right? Like somebody wants to do this with me for like a year, but sometimes you find yourself in a pickle when you commit to something for that long and you realize, wow, this really isn't what I was thinking it was going to be. Yeah. It's hard to get out of those pickles.
The ROI. Yeah. Or you stop getting the return on investment. I know, that's happening to people and they're like, wait, I'm stuck here now.
That could be a whole nother episode too, how to get out of a collaboration. but to get into one, kind of just try to keep it short term as much as possible. That way you're not, where'd you go?
Getting out of the collaboration.
Jonathan disappeared on the video. I was like, where are you, Jonathan Howard? But no, seriously, just, again, don't think that doing something maybe one time just to kind of give it a trial period, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a really good thing. Let's go ahead and talk about, you're in this collaboration. You both said, yes, let's do this. Let's talk about communication, because I think that a lot of people, especially when it comes to social audio, and not even just social audio, but anywhere you collaborate, some people miss the communication boat and you go into it thinking this collaboration is going to be one thing. And it really isn't that. So communicating from day one is really crucial.
Yeah. And I think I personally was mentioning to Mimi, like, you want everything in writing. So if you have a meeting, you want to make sure that you send messages about it, have an open back channel, have a email thread, have something so that you have in writing everything that was agreed to, because you don't want to get to the day that the deliverables are due and you have all these things that, you thought you were getting and you don't get them. and you planned out your content based on these things that you thought you were getting and they're not there. It's always just awkward, or you don't agree on the date that you're doing it or the time that you're doing it or when it's being posted. All those things should be in writing from the start of the agreement and the collaboration.
Yeah, I love that. And you're probably like, well, it's just like a silly collaboration. Like, you know what I mean? And a lot of people go into it thinking that. But honestly, if you keep it professional from day one, it's only going to help you in the future when you have those really big partnerships with people. So take it seriously. Even if the other person isn't, you be the one to create that communication channel, and you be the one to ask the important questions. And, like one of the important questions, like you mentioned, was time. Like, what day is this happening in? What time zone is it happening in? I put that on one of my points because, especially if you're doing social audio, or even not, even if you're going live on Instagram, like the person might be in another time zone. More than likely they will be. And times always get messed up. You have to be very clear.
Yep.
Real quick, just to wrap up communication, where could people communicate? You mentioned email. I personally love WhatsApp. I also love Instagram DMs because you can create group chats. So if it's more than one person, it's nice to be able to have that. Yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot on Instagram DMs. I do a lot WhatsApp. Some email. But definitely, like if I'm doing a reel and this with somebody, I will do, on Instagram DMs because I can send the video back and forth. I can show where I'm adjusting. I can show, those things. Instagram DMs super easy. And, the only thing I would say is just get the key points in writing. So you know what the key points are, so that even if you have to go, was I supposed to do this? You can go check.
Yeah. I always think about that. And I have some things here, about what to talk about when you are communicating with each other. But first of all, you have to figure out if it's you that is hosting this collaboration, you should be the one creating the communication channel. Okay. So set that up. And if you don't feel comfortable doing it, let the other person know. Maybe you can have somebody under you create it for you, but you have to be the one setting the expectations. You have to be the one being very clear about what we're talking about, what the topic is about, because you may be thinking one thing and they may be thinking something else, especially if your title or whatever you're doing is very like broad, right? Like you could take that conversation into a bunch of different directions. So be clear what you want it to be about.
Yeah. And like, there's times when I'm collaborating on a reel and I walk them through the steps. Like, here's what we're going to do first. You're going to record your section. Here's the script that we're going to use. So these are the things that I'm going to be saying back to you. So you kind of know. And then I'm going to edit it. I'm going to send it back to you. You're going to approve it. I'm going to go and put the captions in and all that stuff. And then I may have to show them, because if they have more followers than me, they're going to be the ones to post it. So I need to make sure that I give them the instructions on how to post it so that they post it correctly. There's a lot of different things that go into those things. So it's a lot of communication, making sure you're having that. All right. I'm done.
No. And I love that. I think this is so important to talk about because people, again, they go into it. They're like, okay, we're going to be there Monday. We're going to do this Monday. And then that's it. They show up on Monday and it's like, what? Like,
what are we talking about on Monday?
Exactly. Like, and then, what's so funny? I'm thinking about social audio and I'm thinking about people that will be on stage, like the co-hosts that will be on stage and they'll be like, what did you want me to talk about today? Like they show up very confused when this could all be avoided if we just had a communication channel. You have to tell them, just like you break it down, Jonathan. I think you do that the way you just exampled that. I think it's beautiful. It's professional. It's step by step. Here's what we're doing. And it helps people. Okay. You're not annoying people by doing that. You're making it very clear what's to be expected so they can show up a professional as well, Right.
Because we want it to be a professional experience. You never know what a collaboration could lead to. They may know, Oprah, as Mimi always says, they may know Oprah. It may be like your big break because the person you're working with knows Oprah or Jimmy Fallon or whoever you want to collaborate with.
Or the collaboration can go, Jonathan's favorite word, viral, right? And it can just lead into a whole bunch of different opportunities afterwards. That's why you just never know. I always say that with social audio, there's a time and place to have fun and, be silly. But if you're going to show up there to grow your business, just like with Instagram or wherever you choose, like show up professionally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
And again, Mimi and I are collaborating here. We're collaborating on this podcast. We made an agreement that we would do 10 episodes and see where it went. We're now on episode 17. We probably need to set another milestones so we can
You
say,
can't get rid of me. No.
so we can say, Mimi, I hate you. I need to move on. But, you set those milestones, those expectations so that you have those check-in points and they're real. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, I love that. Okay,
Episode
we
20?
talked about, we will, but I don't think you're going to get rid of me. I think we have something really good here.
Okay.
Jonathan, real quick, we have a few more points to suggest about when you want to collaborate with someone, but we do have to go to a commercial break.
Commercial break? Okay.
A real quick one.
What
and
could
by the
it
way,
possibly be about?
I really love these sponsors. Okay, hit
I
it.
know. They're my favorite sponsors. Tired of being overlooked on social media? Ready to be seen in the crowded marketplace? Attract your ideal clients and increase your impact. The Signature membership combines all the tools you need to level up your presence, share your powerful stories, and have a bigger impact in the world. See the link to join in the show notes.
I don't know if you're like me, but I'm a busy mom with big dreams. I feel like I have no time in the day to write my book or start my blog. That's why I signed up for the Girl You've Got This Action Over Perfection community. It includes dedicated co-working sessions to get things done, brainstorming sessions so you don't drive yourself crazy, and social audio trainings to learn more about gaining visibility and making sales. Check the show notes for a link to sign up.
Thank you to our sponsors. Oh my gosh, that is on. It probably hurt someone. They probably just threw out their earpod. Okay, let's continue on. We're talking about collaborations. The next one too is when you are communicating, right, before you collaborate, maybe sometimes during the collaboration, and then sometimes definitely after the collaboration. You want to be clear as to how long are we looking at spending on this collaboration. So if you are going to go live, like how long do you need me to block off on my calendar so that I can give you my full attention, right? Mm-hmm. It's important to talk about that.
I think in general, we should always do that. But am I supposed to be here for 15 minutes or an hour? Because I've got kids that I need to pick up in a half an hour. I don't personally, but I know that's a situation with many people. So what do you do in that situation? How do you handle it? So making sure you know what time, so the kids aren't running around in the background, or the dogs don't need to be walked, or, those sort of things.
Yeah. I mean, and the same thing when we do these podcast episodes, like we are very clear, like this is usually like how many episodes we want to do and how much time we need to be blocking off so that there is no distractions and we can get it done. The other one is very important, especially if you're doing social audio. So if you're going to be doing hosting a room on Clubhouse or LinkedIn Audio or X Spaces, it's important to know who is leading the conversation, like who is the captain of the ship, I always say. It's important to have one leader because you don't want too many cooks in the kitchen, because if there's too many people trying to lead, that can cause a disaster, right? So What do you think about that one, Jonathan?
Yeah, I mean, I know on Clubhouse, it's the top left, whoever's going to open the room. Even here on the podcast, you notice on the episodes that I'm leading and the episodes that Mimi's leading. Mimi leads most of the episodes. We go back and forth on the conversation, but she's leading the episode. She has the show notes in front of her. Who is that person on your collaboration, whether it's a live or social audio or podcast or any of that? That's important to know because it sets the tone and the feel for the room, the live, all of it. So I think that's really, really important. Who's leading?
Yes. And like facilitation, right? Like we have to keep chugging this along. And if you don't have a specific leader to push it to the next point, it's not going to be a great experience for those listening or watching in on your collaboration.
It gets long and drawn out real fast.
True. Okay. So let's talk about post collaboration. After you guys are done doing what you're doing with each other, what is some things that you look for?
What? Woohoo, it's done. I'm done.
Hi, guys.
Never see you again.
It was great working with you.
It was great working with you. I appreciate it. Maybe I'll send you flowers, but I probably won't because it wasn't that great.
You never sent me flowers. Okay, go ahead.
You don't bring me flowers. Anyway.
I can buy myself flowers. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, we're going to get back on track here in 2 seconds. So, no, when you're doing like a post collaboration, you do need to look at things like, what are the insights telling you? Because it could have been the best post you've ever had. It could have been that your audience absolutely loved it and you should do more of them. You won't know unless you look at your insights. You won't know unless you follow up on the comments. Who's in charge of making sure that we follow up on the comments? When do we check back in about any other deliverables? If you're on our podcast, when are you going to share it to your social media? Like those are things that we go over post production, kind of like, here's when you're going to get the episode. Here's when we're going to be promoting the episode. Here's when we'd love it if you could create a post about your episode. You know, all of those things are really important to talk about post the collaboration. So making sure that you have those things under control, you know what they are. You tell them in advance, hey, we expect you to at least post about you being on the podcast once, you know, something like that starts from the beginning, but then you got to follow up and make sure they did it.
Yeah, I agree. Remember, yes, you did the collaboration, but there's more. There's usually more that happens after the fact.
Yeah.
And if it's social audio, if you're hosting rooms together, you know, when you meet together, you know, after the room or after the audio event, you know, you can talk about like, what is something that we could have done better, or, you know, just kind of get that feedback from each other. Like, what is something for myself as the leader here that I could be doing better for you guys? Or
yeah. And I want to give a quick tip for those who are like doing podcasts and stuff and they want it to be shared on your guests' social media. Before you create your highlights for that episode, ask your guest what they thought their best moment was in the podcast, and then create that as a highlight and send it to them to post it, so that they are getting their favorite moment of the episode as a highlight that they can share without having to work at it. That's going to get it shared much more often than you picking and saying, here are 5 you can choose from. None of those 5 might be their favorite moment. But if you ask them, what's your favorite moment? What do you want to share on social media? And then create that as a highlight for them to post, and you send it to them already edited, more than likely they're going to post it. Just pay attention to their branding. Make sure it fits in their branding.
that's good. That's a really good, because I know a lot of people who do listen in, either they have their own podcast or they're thinking about starting one. So I love that, Jonathan. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to wrap up the episode. We have one more point, because we do like to try to keep these digestible, and we also try not to give Jonathan too much work when it comes to editing. This is the big one, though. How do you decide that you want to do it again? Is it based on, the results alone, or what do you think?
Results have a big thing to do with it. I could have the best chemistry with somebody and have an amazing time, but if there's no results, it makes it difficult to, there's no results. So it makes it difficult for us to continue. But if there were results, maybe I'd continue.
Right. No, I hear you.
Wait a minute.
We have results. Hello. Clearly we're on episode 617. Come on. No, but really though, Jonathan, I think that you hit it there. For me, of course, I also think I think long term. And so if I can sense, oh, this is really good. What we just did right there. Let's do that more and more and more and see where it takes us. I always have that long-term vision. So,
yeah.
But sit with yourself, if the other person puts you on the spot and says, hey, you want to do it again next Tuesday? Give yourself a little bit of time to don't just jump the gun, because I know sometimes we're going off of adrenaline and we're like, okay, yeah, sure. But I would take a minute for yourself and kind of think about it.
Right. And just see, it may be the best thing ever, and that's awesome. And it may not be. And that doesn't mean if you start and you do one and then you agree to do 5 more, that you have to agree to do 15 more or 50. Just take it step by step.
Yeah, I love that. Gosh, this was so good. This makes me, I don't know what it is, but I don't know about you, Jonathan, but I just want to collaborate more and more and more. I love it. I think there's so many benefits to collaboration, you guys. And again, collaboration can look all different kinds of ways. So We just hope that the next time you get involved in a collaboration, that you think about a lot of these points, because it's really what has helped us throughout the years.
Yep. Important things. And you know what? A lot of the points that we're saying here apply to paid partnerships as well. So just keeping that in mind as well.
I love that. I love that so much. Cha-ching.
All right. Cha-ching. Mimi, should I wrap it up with my favorite thing to say?
Yes, please do. Cha-ching.
Cha-ching. No, my favorite thing to say is, if you love what you've listened to, any of our first 17 episodes, make sure that you give me 5 stars, because I love stars just as much as Mimi does. As a matter of fact, I cry when we don't get 5 stars. I make people give us 5 stars. I actually held my sister by razor blade
Oh my God.
and told her, and told her to give us a 5-star review the other day. No. Mimi's dying. No, guys, if you love what you're listening to here on Coffee Social Podcast, anywhere you listen to it, make sure you give us a rating, give us 5 stars, rewrite us a review on Apple Podcasts. We want to hear what you think, what you love, what you don't love. We don't always listen to what you don't love because we don't like to hear it, but what you love, what you don't love, let us know. We want to be here for you. And we are also available where, Mimi?
So we are on YouTube. If you do not hurt don't hurt your road, okay? With the you guys have to get over to the YouTube channel to see this, okay? So if you're listening while you're walking or whatever you're doing right now, go onto the YouTube and search Coffee Social Podcast. The link will also be below in the show notes, but you have to watch some of these episodes because they are hilarious. All right. Just like that. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, we're on YouTube. And again, I'm just going to reiterate what Jonathan said about leaving a review. It really, truly helps a podcast creator. The more reviews we get, and the more, stars that we get, it just helps with the algorithm. So we really appreciate the support. I'm going to go ahead and wrap us up with our favorite question, the most important question to ask. Don't bring out that. Are you bringing out the razor again? Please don't scare people. Okay, he's bringing out the
scaring
coffee.
People. Why would I scare people? I'm not scary.
Okay, you guys, are you Team Mimi or
Team Jonathan, like Mimi's mom is?
Oh, shout out to Mama. Team Jonathan. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. We love you guys for that. And we'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Jonathan
everyone.
Howard.
Bye, Mimi Langley.